as an England fan, yeah?
Yes.
Against France.
Yes.
Has a penalty kick to go level with England in the quarter-final that you would have had the ascendancy to possibly go and beat France. Sky's it.
Do you know what it is?
What?
You said as a fan there, and then sometimes I think as a fan, and then sometimes I flip back to remember my profession, you know what I mean? And when I think of the profession of it, it happens, mate. Then I think of how many times he scored against Arsenal. Ain't they big games for you?
They're big games, but the Champions League final...
That's big.
Bigger. The Carabao Cup final against Manchester City, the Carabao Cup final against Chelsea. You know, these are games that is non-existent.
I mean, what will prove it, though, is if he goes to Bayern Munich, he's there, obviously,
and wins
they
the Champions
win
League.
trophies, they win the Champions League, and he steps up in the final.
Yeah, but the Bundesliga, if he wins the Bundesliga with Bayern Munich...
Then it doesn't
matter.
Okay.
If he wins the Champions League, then you go, Harry Kane, fair play, nod your hat. Listen, when Teddy Sheringham broke my heart and went to Manchester United back then, he had a reason to go to Manchester United because they won everything and he went and won loads of stuff with Manchester United. Spurs were nowhere near competing.
Yeah.
Now, it doesn't matter how salty you want to get if you hate Spurs or whatever. The fact of the matter is, only 3 or 4 years ago, we was in the Champions League final. You know, we was in finals of the Carabao Cup final, semi-finals of the FA Cup. We were close, but never got there. Very Spursy of us, etc. Yeah, that word, Spursy. But he was a part of that.
Okay.
So this period of time, it's like, see Dimitar Berbatov, left Spurs, final against Chelsea, the coolest man on the pitch, takes a penalty and is part of a winning side. Because he stepped up and did his thing.
But I kind of made you chew there a little bit more, didn't I?
Yeah. That's what you're here for.
Yeah. I don't know who the Arsenal fan was.
One in.
I don't know who the Arsenal fan was that made you chew a minute ago. But yeah, we've got you. We've got you on string.
So listen, let's quickly talk about West Ham because of course...
chirpy because they won a trophy. Look.
Yeah, I know.
European, mate. Matters. I tried to play it down, by the way.
Did you really?
Yeah, because I know what it was. It was whatever it was. I can't remember. What's the name of it? Conference, right? But... the more and more I thought about it and I saw the celebrations, I saw what it meant to the players, I think I know now what any cup means to a club right now, even the Carabao Cup, right? So after that, I thought, you know what? No, I'm well happy. I'm well happy now, and it is a trophy that a lot of teams were competing for, a lot of good teams. I'm happy, mate.
Do you think, though, that as an English club in West Ham, you should be winning that? Like Aston Villa should win that this year.
Obviously,
does that take? If Aston Villa do, would that take a little bit of shine off West Ham's?
It would. Like that's being totally honest. But nah, man. Like the Prem is a strong league right now with strong teams all the way down to the bottom. You know what I mean? So any team could be like. We're so strong that I think if you even go down to the Championship, like they're competing with attendances and with Serie A teams. You know what I mean? So this is a strong league we're in at the moment. So yeah, it would take a little bit of the shine off, but it wouldn't surprise me. You know what I mean?
In the top 4 at the moment, West Ham.
Yes.
We've had it here on the final word with myself and Pards. You know, the first, you beat Chelsea at the London Stadium, and there were still people that are not really into David Moyes because he's so, the way he works, he's a very pragmatic manager. He's not someone that's going to go out all attacking football, but consistency wins the race quite often.
Man. Yeah. Consistency wins the race, and not only that, this reminds me of the West Ham a couple of seasons ago, which, by the way, you speak to the people at the club and you listen to Moyes speak, and he says last year's a blip. It is a blip. The last couple of seasons have been a blip, you know what I mean? But when we finished 6th and 7th, that was more of the football that we're playing now, you know what I mean? So it's crazy because it's you don't really win games when you don't have possession of the ball, but we seem to be having less possession, but just dominating. Like we could win games by more, and I think that is the Moyes way. You know what I mean? So Antonio come on to Filthy Fellas, and I remember him saying he got a bit of stick for it. He said about to play up top for Moyes, it's like a scrap, and it is. But you know what you're gonna get, and I think as a player, if you know what your manager's, the tactics of your manager, and you know what he's gonna get, what you're gonna do, what he wants from you, I think it matters a lot. You know what I mean?
Was you ever on Moyes out?
For a little bit. I ain't gonna lie, like, only not because I don't rate him as a manager, I don't rate his tactics, it just got a bit stale. You know what I mean? And sometimes you need to freshen things up. In my job, like I've done things where you've been working for a brand for a long time and nothing's gone wrong, but you just need to freshen it up sometimes, you know what I mean? So I was on that one. So yeah, Moyes out, but I was never vocal about it or anything like that, but definitely thought, if I'm being honest.